Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Editing Kita here with a sad but needed introduction for this next video. After I filmed this book review about the book The Choice by Dr. Edith Eger, I got some sad news, which is that she has passed away. So there will be some references in the review to her still being alive and still working and helping people and holding seminars. That was very much true until 2 weeks ago. So this video was not only going to be a book review, but kind of an honor to Dr. Edith Eger. So before we start, I want to read what was written about her by the United States Holocaust Museum, and then we'll get into the book review. And remember, I still very much would recommend this book to anybody who would like to read it, and I think it's essential for us. I think it's essential reading, and even though Dr. Edith Eger's work is done on this earth, our work still continues. So, here we go. At first, Edith Eger resolved to keep her story of survival and loss a secret. In 1944, at age 16, Edith and her family were rounded up, imprisoned, and later deported from Hungary to Auschwitz just because they were Jewish. After arriving at camp, Edith's mother was immediately unalived in the gas chamber, leaving Edith and her older sister. The sisters fought to survive while imprisoned in several camps. In May 1945, they were liberated by American soldiers. After the war, Edith met her future husband and soon gave birth to their first child. I was also determined, after so much pain and loss, to be a source of life, Edith wrote. In 1949, the young family immigrated to the United States. Edith thrust herself into a new American life, eager to assimilate and determined to suppress the trauma of her teen years. She later reflected, I thought my silence about the past would be a buffer for my children, yet in hiding from the past, I wasn't free of it. Edith became a psychologist and worked with patients suffering from PTSD. This experience forced her to reconcile her own pain. Then I began to think, if I'm going to live, I need to be for something. She recalled, not just against something, but for life, and for being a functional human being. She became a renowned author and advocate, sharing her experiences with adults and children around the world. She passed away at age 98. Welcome back to my channel. I'm your host, Keto Rowe, and today we are doing another book review. Today's book review is not necessarily a Christian book, but aligns with Christian values. The Choice by Dr. Edith Eger. Full title is The Choice, Embrace the Impossible. Um, so, really good book. Let's get into it. So, the author, Dr. Eger, Edie Eger, she goes by Edie Eger. She is a Jewish Holocaust survivor. She's Hungarian, that moved to the U.S. after World War II. She was sent to Auschwitz when she was a child. Her entire family was sent to Auschwitz, and she lost her parents immediately. And her sister were survived 18 months in the camp, and then they were liberated. She came to America, and she continued her education, raised her family, continued her education in her 40s, and then she became a clinical psychologist. And she is a clinical psychologist that works with people who have deep seated trauma, lots of trauma. So, people who are like in the Vietnam War or experience other types of traumas. She's actually still alive and she's still speaking. She's still lecturing. She has a Facebook page if you want to check it out. Um, she has a quote that says, I don't believe in retirement. My mission is to educate the young and combat ignorance. So, Dr. Edie Eger is one of my favorite people in the world. I love her. I've read both her books, but I love her books. What led me to this book is that I love history. I especially have studied in depth World War II. So, in my studies about the Holocaust, I came across survivor stories. And one of the survivor stories that popped up for me was Edie Eger, and I watched it and I was just really blown away. And then I found out one thing that I'm blown away about when it comes to Holocaust survivors who are still alive is the amount of forgiveness. Their focus on forgiveness in their heart and how they will repeatedly say they can't hold on to things that happened to them in the camps or, wherever they were. Very amazing testimonies. So yeah, that's how I came across Dr. Eger, and I ordered her book, The Gift, first. I should review that book as well, but The Gift was just life lessons on getting through, different traumas and not being a victim. And then I found out that The Choice was more of her autobiographical book, so I ordered that. So was definitely not disappointed. Um, Book summary without spoilers. So, like I said, it details Dr. Eger's early life with her family. So it starts a little before they were sent to Auschwitz and tells about their family dynamics and how she loved to dance. And then it covers them going into the camp, her and her sister's experience there, her survival, going on the death march. And then this is what I like about the book. It definitely does not stop there. So it covers her life when she got out and tried to make a life for herself. And eventually had to come to America and, well, I won't give it away, but had to come to America and start completely over. I'll just say that. So she talks about how she had dreams to be a dancer and how, the injuries and everything that she suffered in Auschwitz that took her dream from her, and just gives her perspective as a survivor, but also as a clinical psychologist who's learning from her clients. What I like about the book, like I mentioned, I like that it details her experience in the concentration camp, but also how she rebuilt her life afterwards and the lessons that she learned there and along the way. Um, I think it gives a realistic portrait of what it's like to deal with trauma and making sense of things that are just complete and utter evil. It's not like she got out of Auschwitz and everything was fine, and the family just went. It wasn't that. It was a lifelong long journey of her dealing with this trauma, helping other people, and even some of the realizations that she had happened much later in life. I like her openness to self reflection and the avoidance of comparison, which also is a surprise to me coming from um, a Holocaust survivor, because she mentions quite often that her trauma is no worse than anyone else's. And we would think, no, it sounds like it is, but she does not value comparing herself or making her issues that she's had in life out to be any worse than anyone else's. I think I like her willingness to face her fears when she realized, down the line that she's kind of been avoiding her memories and the things that she dealt with during the Holocaust instead of facing it head on. I like her bravery. I like her aversion to victimhood, even when it feels like she has a right to to live in victimhood. She avoids that. And I like that the book has themes of being responsible for your own happiness. As a Christian, I would say depending on God for your joy, but same thought pattern. Not depending on other people, because we're all humans and we're all imperfect to find happiness. So some of my favorite passages of this book I'm going to read. This was about victimhood. Is the first one. So she says, Auschwitz, where I was told I was subhuman, a cancer on society, and the only good I can do is to become a corpse. I was victimized, but I refused to become a victim. This is about forgiveness. Revenge feels good in the short term, but I was interested in the long term. I forgave Mustache Man for me, so that I wouldn't be consumed by hate. And this is about empowerment. Our jailer is in our mind, and the key to liberate us is in our pocket, but it takes an inner life. Um, so what I gained from this book, or what I learned from this book, because I always like to share that. One, I was introduced to Corey Ten Boom, who, because she mentions her friend Corey Ten Boom in this book, and how she was a lot more forgiving than she was. Like she taught her about us about forgiveness. So I'm like, who is Corey Ten Boom? So I find out that she is a Christian who hid Jewish people in her home during the Holocaust to protect them, and eventually was her and her family. They did, and they were sent to a concentration camp for hiding people. So, and it was she was led by her Christian principles 100%. So I actually ordered a book about Corrie ten Boom, and that's on my TBR. So I'm excited about that. I got a deeper insight into what the process of forgiveness and healing trauma can be. One thing I should mention is that I am a psychology major. So I have a sociology bachelor's degree and a psychology master's degree. So I love when books involve a little psychology talk. And so getting some insight on that, I loved. I loved the encouragement to follow, or what I've gained, sorry, was the encouragement to follow your dreams at any age, because going to school for anything, but especially becoming a clinical psychologist, is hard. It's a lot of work. And I just love that Dr. Eger in her 40s was like, yeah, I need a change in life and I want to do what I'm called to do. When she went back to school and became, because she's a very powerful clinical psychologist in her work. So I love that. And also encouragement to just give up victimhood mentality. Um, we all have traumas. We all have traumas that go back. We're humans, but living in that victimhood it makes things worse. So I like that. So the choice you would like this book if, and let me just be honest, I feel like this story and this thought pattern, everybody should read this book at some point in their life. But I would say you would like this book if you like to get some insight into the human condition, the the best of the best and the worst of the worst. It gives you that insight. If you love history, obviously, especially if you like to study things like World War II, if you have trauma that you want to overcome, and if you're struggling with forgiveness, you would love this book. But this is at the top of my list, and I would recommend it to anybody as a great read. So, the choice, yeah, check it out if you want to. So I'll be coming with some more book reviews, as I mentioned before. I'm really focused on my reading journey this year, especially my Christian reading journey. Just keep my mind right and set on the things of God. So if also this channel exists for us to build community with each other, so it won't just be book reviews. It'll be discussing topics, story times. If you're just looking for a place to get some encouragement, to connect with other people, to have people to pray with you, then this is maybe the channel for you. Hit the subscribe button, like the video, share the video, and come back. Until next time, be blessed.